Ooh. The inside was pitch black, but Takano-san turned on the battery-powered lantern she brought, revealing a pretty cramped front room. Ooh. It's so dark in here. Oh, I thought you were watching outside you. Oh, so now you're intrigued? Now you're intrigued? I get it. I get it. You couldn't resist the allure, the mystique of it all. Everyone, take care not to trip over anything. I appreciate the concern. Okay, doorman, keep a good watch. We're shutting the door now. Nakano-san smiled spitefully, as if leaving Toмотaki-san out of something fun, and began to close the door. Man. Alright, everyone. Have fun. Okay, have fun up out there. There was a low, heavy, and loud noise, and we were completely cut off from the outside world, and covered in silent darkness. Takano-san's lantern was the only light we had. Oh, they're using this background again. Huh. We'll be fine. There's an outdoor lantern with backup batteries inside. It won't go out or anything. That sounds like something a lantern that was about to go out would say. As the Takano noticed my uneasy expression, I couldn't help but blush a little and avert my gaze. Deeper inside, there was a heavy and old but sturdy door with solemn decorations on it. It was the last door sealing away what was within. Strange how it has an antechamber even though it's just a warehouse, isn't it? I believe it's set up this way so you can open one door at a time, never letting the room with all the tools be seen from the outside. Nakano-san explained this, awfully impressed by the construction. But still, it's really dark in here. Huh? That. Over there. It's... I spot a circuit breaker hanging from the clump of wiring, clumsily attached to the wall. I wouldn't risk it. Oh, here, isn't this a light switch or something? I flipped the biggest switch I could find. With a click, the pitch-black room was illuminated by an old, bare light bulb. Everyone scrunched up their face at the sun's strobe-like brightness. Don't! Before she even finished, she unstopped my hand and flipped the switch back. There was not a loud click, and the room returned to darkness, with only the lantern for illumination. Yeah, I was gonna say, look, she has the most sense here, okay? Look, she's slowly becoming number one. Ow. You can't, Kei-chan. We snuck in here, remember? If you turn on the light, it might give us away. I'm scolded by Shion fairly harshly. Like she was worried about whether someone had seen them from the momentary light. Yeah. It's alright. It was only for a moment. Hopefully. Takano remained a relaxed adult. It seemed like she was confident she could talk her way out of it if someone did see us. Or this all goes to the end of the reason why you two get murdered. Let's go in. Here we go. There. Even heavier door opened. And this time, it wasn't just the dust that came out with the air. There was also a nasty smell. One smell was like opening a dust-filled cupboard in the back of a kitchen that hadn't been opened in years. And the other smell, the nasty one, was hard to explain, was like the raw odor of a fish market. Oh, God, no, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate fish. I hate the smell of fish. God damn it. Seafood's terrible. From how the sound echoed, this room felt far larger than the first. Takano-san held up her lantern, revealed the contents of the expansive room. Whoa! The back wall of the storehouse, right in front of us, was a Buddha-like holy object, standing there, looking down at us. I was taken aback by its unseen force, lit up by the slender beam of the lantern. Oh, this is the background too. Ooh. That's the guardian god of Hinamizawa. Oh, you're Shiro-sama. Oh, that thing in the background right next to you to the left. Huh. There's a lot of torture devices in this room. I'm realizing there's some stuff in the left, a little interesting looking coffin there, some cages. Oh, what's that on the wall on the right there? Oh, I see. I see. It's far grander than the one at the shrine, that's for sure. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama. So this is the spear protecting Hinamizawa, the one guarding the holy land of Hinamizawa from the impurities of the outside world, and the one delivering punishment upon those who attempt to sully the land with a dam construction. It looks like there are far more tools stored here than I thought, but this is so sad. None of them have been maintained. How unfortunate they're in such a state. Even in the dim light, I could see a lot of strange objects lining the walls, ceiling, and shelves. Mostly caged in the ceiling, though. What even is that on, like, above the grindstone thing? My first thought it was some weird guillotine paper cutter or something like that. Looks more like a sled. I have no idea what to make of that. Takana-san, speaking as if in a trance, was infatuated by the various implements filling the dark room. They weren't very festival-like, or traditional, but instead this was more like the workshop of a blacksmith or a carpenter. There are a lot of large wooden and metal tools packed in here. Putting it bluntly, it was all pretty boring stuff. Oh, you're saying everything on the left-hand side is boring? Especially that bench with restraints onto it? I imagine there would be more artistic things in here from the high-end period, but these are a far cry from being cultural artifacts. My expression betrayed my dashed hopes, and they caught on right away. Oh, is this not interesting for you? Are you not, Keiichi, again, are you missing all the torture devices everywhere? How is this not catching any of your attention? I'm not into literature or art, so immediately I do not like you anymore, Keiichi. My gosh. I mean, like, if, like, it's old literature, then I get it, because literally, oh god, every time I take a class like that, it just feels like it's boring stuff. It's boring. Add some pizzazz to it, it's not like good. I can look at this stuff, but I don't really understand its value. Keiichi-kun, you really do look like you don't get it. I guess it's only natural. Takano-san searched into her paper bag that she'd been holding the whole time, took out a worn scrapbook, and began to flip through it. Oh, it's your scrapbook! Oh, this was all your idea. Then just for you, Keiichi-kun, I'll tell you an old story. It's a common tale in this region. If you go to the library, it would even be on the recommended reading list. Telling stories in such a dark, creepy place? Yeah, it's natural. Scary stories. Don't run away now. She must have a horror story in mind, as usuals. Shion's face bellied nothing but calm. See, she's great. If she had the same personality as Mion, she'd have found fault with me being scared. I'll endure it for now and pretend to be calm. Like, literally, again, still. She's great. Okay? Alright. I'll read it. After confirming that I was going to be quiet and listen, she began to speak softly, like a kindergartner teacher reading a picture book. Long, long ago, in a certain village in the mountains, there was a swamp. Oh, is this literally going to that story now, actually? Of, literally, like, the Oishi was talking about. Is it actually going to that? Like, it brought up this same background and everything. Or is thinking me completely new, then? This swamp was very, very deep. Some even called it bottomless. We're still, like, nailing down the swamp aspect. People said it was connected to Hell, the land of demons. Rumors said that it was deeper than the ocean, and that anyone it swallowed would sink into the underworld, a bottomless swamp. So, like, is the legend all about, like, there's, like, a portal or something to the underworld, like, underneath all the, I guess, all the muck and the mud in the swamp? Or literally just, the swamp is literally just is the portal. Its name was Onigafuchi. Wait. I thought back to the story I heard yesterday about the sacrifices sinking in the bottomless swamp. Could that be the swamp she's talking about? So then the village was Hinamizawa, right? You catch on quickly. That's right. Though it was called Onigafuchi Village at the time. Yeah, we're learning this actually, like, way sooner. And so, like, the end of the, I guess, like, the end of the 12th section, chapter, route, path, I don't even know anymore. Onigafuchi Village. That's a pretty inauspicious name. Inauspicious. Big words. It evokes quite the image, doesn't it? I hear that the name was changed in the Meijing period. The name of the swamp connected to Hell was called Onigafuchi, which meant the Demon's Abyss. And the true name of this village, Hinamizawa, was Onigafuchi Village. The villagers belonged to the Abyss, or to Hell in other words. Oh, there must be very interesting people then. They lived their lives worshipping the swamp said to connect to it. But then, one day... Oh, okay, I was not expecting that. Oh my god, you look so cool. Demons began to appear, one after the other, from deep in the swamp. The villagers feared. The hell was overflowing. The demons mercilessly attacked the villagers. They could only watch in fear. They could do no more than hide themselves and tremble. So did someone exterminate them? Unfortunately, there is no Momotaro or Superman in this fairy tale. Then, did they get the whole village together to fight them? I think, like, didn't, like, how Oishi said the tale, like, in the Angel Mort restaurant was, they all died? Or at the very least, well, a mom was taking, like, their son to the demons to ask to heal them, but, like, they said, oh, can we, in exchange for healing your son perfectly, we'll like to eat your mom. Then, she decided to go against that, run, and they didn't take kindly to that, so they went, and they didn't say they killed the whole entire village, but, like, they, at the very least, they attacked until they ate both the mom and the son, so, Never try to make a deal, then go back on it. Heavens no. The villagers weren't nearly strong enough to fight on equal terms with the demons. Then the only recourse would be to flee the village. And they couldn't do that either. And why not? To the villagers, it was their beloved homeland. It didn't matter how terrifying the demons. They wouldn't have run away so easily. Then, or they do. They just made a tent, just dug their own grave with a shovel, laid down in it, and waited for the best. Wouldn't they just get wiped out? Ooh. Unable to fight and unable to run. All they could do was wait for the village to be destroyed. Then, when everyone had lost hope, their god, Oyashiro-sama, descended onto them. Oh, I see. So Oyashiro-sama came down from the sky and beat up all the demons then. And it was a fight 'em up action game. You're just a boy, Kei-chan. You always jump straight to using force to resolve things. Shion sighed, a little annoyed. Embarrassed on my tongue. Lily just okay, just negotiate with the demons. The thing about Oyashiro-sama, he wasn't a violent god who would beat them up like you're saying. He was a kind god, filled with love and benevolence. Oh, so like the thing I was getting at the very ending of the after party for Chapter 1 was right then? Well, either Oyashiro-sama is still the same way even now, or like something changed over time. Or literally just like I guess the god is like being portrayed as always been good, principles and all wise, but the people following them are taking it to extremes. The strength of Oyashiro-sama descended from the heavens couldn't be compared to that of the demons. They didn't even fight. They simply prostrated themselves before his radiant authority. Oyashiro-sama urged them to go back to hell from whence they came. The demons wept and challenged him, saying they could never return. They could never return? What, like something similar to how the villagers can't leave their own homeland? Well, I mean, that is an interesting parallel then. Wow, actually. The world of the demons too has harsh commandments. Man, you can't get a single day's rest anywhere in this whole universe, even in other dimensions. They claim they had been banished from hell. Demons. Who didn't have a place to go, neither in hell nor the human world. Man, I feel sad for them now. Of course, they were at fault for attacking the village. Well, I mean, if this is connected to the Oishi thing, and I guess the fable, in the sense, like, it's, if we're gonna go, let's just go with the whole fact, like, let's just imagine the demons are real, then my first thought, I guess, to give some benefit of doubt as well to them is, maybe there was something else with going with a deal and the mom broke it. And going with that, I guess, for time being. If we're giving the benefit of the doubt there. But if they were banished way before that, or like, oh man, if the mom came to, like, get the demons out to, like, heal my son, and like, she won't even do, like, I guess, some of the things that they asked of her to do. They deeply reflected on it and were sorry. As the villagers conversed amongst themselves, Little by little, they came to pity the demons, and, after talking with everyone in the village, they decided to live alongside them. No. A lot of fairy tales have them being exterminated or driven away, but you don't often hear one where they live in peace. Man, I love those. It's a fun, refreshing story. You're right. Demons are supposed to symbolize all evils. A story where they decide to live together humans is certainly strange. Yeah, symbolically, but there's the whole thing of like I guess it would make sense that there's gonna be a story at some point where you get to live with your own demons. This is, I think that's a general like vibe we're heading towards now, in terms of like storytelling. I'm seeing it more and more, and it's kind of one I appreciate because of like of mental illness and all that. Because you're born with something, you can't really get away with it. You can't really live away with it. It's kind of the same thing with like anxiety. Like it's technically like something that people like try to demonize, but like honestly, it's like a safety mechanism for your brain, and you're supposed to be working with it instead of against it or have it work against you. I always appreciate those kind of stories, though. When the demons first heard the villagers' invitation, they doubted their ears, but soon burst into tears of joy. The villagers had given them a place to live. It was said that in payment for this good deed, the demons shared their many kinds of power and secrets within the villagers. Nice. Well, Sama was very pleased with this happy exchange. He gave the demons the bodies of humans so they would be indistinguishable from the villagers. He himself decided to stay on the surface and watch over the everlasting peace between them. So then how does this go down to, I guess, the curse then, like, some demons can't leave the town then as well for some reason? Oh man. A land in which man, demon, and god live together. I had thought the word demon was a noun meaning evil that needs to be exterminated. Man, by this point of like what I've read as a kid and just like what I was interested in of like really just also like viewing the other side, I'm just seeing a lot of mystery stories, sympathetic villains and all that. At this point, to me, just monster and demon isn't exactly a catch-all term for bad. To me, just another word to just describe a creature or a being. A god may have mediated for them, but you don't often hear happy endings like that where both sides live in harmony. I see. I guess it is kind of interesting. No, it's very interesting, Keiichi. Although the normal fairy tale ends there, it was revised quite a bit during the Endo period into a much longer story. I want to read that. After that, the humans and demons intermixed, but eventually there was no difference between them. So the demons ended up disappearing? Not in spirit, but I guess in terms of appearance. No, not at all. Half of them stayed just as they were. The knowledge the villagers had received from the demons basically made them into something inhuman, what people call transcendent. They were well aware the power they had was heresy. Heresy? And as though below worshipped them, they led out their lives in secrecy. This story is the root of many derivative tales and pieces of fiction. It's the foundation, I mean. The basis. What do you mean by root? The origin. She means the part about the villagers having demon blood. What I mean is, all legends from around here are based on the premise the villagers are descended from demons. They intermixed in culture. And also families. That's such amusement on Xian's face she said that. I'll say, that's funny. It's like she wanted to say that she too had demon blood in her. I can completely buy that though, but I'm pretty sure Mion and Reina technically have a bit more. Or actually, probably less so, actually, if we're going with that. Is there any proof though? DNA testing! Let's just go down to a clinic and and see how much demon blood you have in them. Do you have more than 50% of demon blood in genetics in your system, or more human? That'll figure out which side you're on. It's like it's gonna be like the new thing for zodiac signs and all that. Oh my lord. Maybe it's somehow rooted in historical fact beyond just fairy tales. Oh, Maebara-kun. Then do you believe that demons really did come out of the swamp and breed with humans? Okay, you put it very bluntly. Well, it's not like I don't believe it, but... When she said demon, she meant the ones from hell, but... in ancient Japan, the word wasn't necessarily used to denote only that kind, right? The more well-known use involves the drifting foreigner theory. Drifting foreigner theory? Hold on, just to be sure. I want to, I guess, have the things to sink in more. Breed with humans, that's not what I believe in. But she's a demon, she knows what hell in ancient Japan. Yeah, so, you're talking more about, just, demons in terms of, I guess, yokai and stuff like that. Like, monsters and all that. Some of them good, some of them bad. Really just that. I never had the same exact conversation when Oishi talked about it. The more well-known use involves the drifting foreigner theory. As the story goes, Westerners who were shipwrecked in nearby seas had such markedly different customs that they were called demons. Yeah, and if it's anything you can't quite understand it, then people just tend to demonize it because if they don't have the same beliefs that I do, then they're monsters, demons, devils. Purify them, expel them, repel them away. Japanese people were relatively similar in appearance to other Asians, but everything about those in the West was different. Their physiques, their faces, and their skin color. In Japan, terms like red demon and blue demon evoke images especially of Westerners. Huh, actually that's something different. Never heard of that before. I would love if this game just has just brings the stereotype of Americans. I would love that. It's probably just me, but I don't mind the stereotype for that. It's funny. Lacking in skin pigments, Westerners would sunburn easily and turn red. Oh, okay. Being fair-skinned, I think blood vessels appearing on their skin would look blue too. Oh, yeah, actually that's true. I'm just looking into some blood vessels or just arteries or veins on your wrist. At least for me anyway, I can see this blue there. It's easier, I guess. Don't know if that's gonna be the same for any other, culture and anything like that or race. I think blood vessels appearing in their skin would look blue too. A handful of accidental aliens drifted into Japan and came under persecution, being called demons. Oh, okay. They would flee into the mountains to survive, turn into bandit groups, and attack villages for food and the like. Oh. How does that explanation sound? Maybe it's a bit childish. Takana gave me a weird smile when, having come up with such an impromptu hypothesis, I unconsciously followed it up with self-deprecation. Still, she didn't smile as if to make fun of me. It's not ridiculous. There are a lot of people who subscribe to the drifting foreigner theory. Yeah... unfortunately. Even so, nobody actually knows what happened. Were they a group of foreigners who had turned to banditry? Or were they really demons who had come from the bottom of the world? Then, Takano-san, which do you believe? Based on how she loves all this kind of story stuff, probably it's obvious. The truth of the matter aside, I'd rather believe the more fantastic explanation. It's more fun that way, isn't it? Yes. Her answer made her sound a wee bit like a romanticist. Man. That's what it is. If that's what she sounds like, then. Here I thought she would reject unrealistic stories like that. She literally just said she doesn't care about the pragmatic answers about finding who the culprit is. She loves the fairy tales itself, which honestly I kind of do too. But also at the same time, I also like seeing, I guess, the reason as to who the culprit is and all that. But I know there's always a case for sometimes when it's best not to know who the culprit is. Sometimes. Now then, this is where the fun begins. Okay, time to bring out the candles, the red salt, all the ritualistic, and the Necronomicon. Let's go! Takano-san brought an end to her storytelling, and waits for a moment as if to tantalize us. Suddenly Shion looked around, as if something had caught her eye. Her head bobbed to and fro, like she was making sure nothing had changed. What's wrong, Shion? I'm sorry, please don't worry about it. Shion pretended as though nothing had happened. Maybe she heard something. Oh no. I hope there's no one outside. Takano-san also made sure nothing had happened, then cleared her throat and broached the next subject. I mean, if, that would just mean if someone was outside, then, they had to get the jump on Tomotaki, then. I don't think that would go down quietly. I explained that half of the villagers have demon blood. That blood, they actually say that's the blood of the kind of demon that eats people. It's the blood of the kind of demon that eats people. Huh. Wait, so there's multiple versions, or... Like you say, a kind of demon, so... The ones that eat people. Man-eating demons? And they're breeding with their prey. That escalated quickly. Man, that just sounds absurd, but at the same time, it's just funny. That blood still runs through the villagers' veins. They say sometimes the blood awakens from its slumber. I thought the fairy tale had a happy ending, the humans and demons living in peace, but it began to suddenly change into a brutal, bloody story. Well, they eat people. They say that every decade or so, they can't help but want to feast on human flesh. The villagers can't eat other villagers. As happens, so they descend on the human villages and conduct onikakushi. What's an onikakushi? Oh, okay, this is another reason for it, okay. Broadly speaking, it's when a demon kidnaps someone, when a person is demoned away. They said that the villagers of Onikafuchi would overwhelm unfortunate human villages in order to kidnap sacrifices. So either try to find... Oh, okay, so it makes more sense then. Okay, every decade or so, and now if that story of like Supernaturals are believed, that like they're now just limiting them down to like one, like, you know, I guess once a year. But then why murder someone then, though? It makes sense for the demon away part, I guess, for the whole taste the flesh, the tasty flesh and the blood and all that. But why kill someone for it? Like, literally kill and not take their body away to eat. But when I imagine what it must have been like, it was terrifying. They lose their human reason. The villagers turn to real demons en masse. They attack the villages they loathe, in the dirty world of the masses below. And then they kill and eat their sacrifices. Thinking about it more, just comparing to the first chapter's latter half. Why, like, did Satoshi, like, live in this town for, like, a while? And no one told him anything? And then he started acting the same way that Keiichi did? Was he someone who just, like, when he was born in the culture, like, really just did not agree with the practices, that kind of person? A literal devil's advocate in a different way? Like, look, dude, I know we're all demons, but someone has to be the true devil's advocate here. So they're no different from demons after all. What did Oyashiro-sama do? Wasn't he supposed to be staying in the village and watching over them? Oyashiro-sama knew about it, of course. Onikakushi isn't indiscriminate. The villagers apparently never kidnapped anyone other than the sacrifices decided upon by their god. In the texts, it's usually one or two people. A village inhabited by those both human and inhuman. It was like the heartwarming episode's color had inverted, like a negative film. It still has tinges of it, revealing the painful and ugly truth. So the nights when they stole away villagers, they would feast on their kidnapped sacrifices, which is why the nights came to be known as Wanton Nagashi. Wow, this is great. Like, hey, you want to celebrate the Watanashi, Keiichi? We're gonna, you know, like, purify some wool and burn it downstream and just, you know, purify all the sins that coursed from our veins and transfer to our beds. Has nothing else to do with anything else. Don't worry about it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Watanagashi. Tonight's festival is Watanagashi. I just couldn't reconcile the fun festival with the horrible tale Takano-san was telling me. You could literally just say it's like it's the same thing as like how the normal festival is, but like they trying to like it's kind of like almost they mentioned before of like the practices slowly change over time, and like some old rituals were lost and all that, and now it's the whole wool purifying practice, but like the whole, you know, purifying, I guess, all whole purification of, like, bad is still there. In different ways. Purify the outsiders. I just couldn't reconcile the fun festival with the horrible tale Takano-san was telling me. Wata Nagashi? Well, wasn't it about giving thanks to the futons we use over the winter or something? Kei-chan, Wata has another meeting, you know. Means entrails. Shion, who had been silent till now, spoke up. Entrails? Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Like, fish guts. Wait, what? Like a jigsaw puzzle, the fun times I had today and Takano-san's grotesque tale I clicked together in my mind. I think the fun times are still here. This is just fun. What's Nagashi? So, gut spilling. What does the naga mean? That was the highlighted part. In the red, anyway. Wata means entrails, or at least how Keiichi tries to translate it as fish guts. So what does naga and then the shi at the end mean? I do know that a lot of people's Japanese names has specific meanings of they for people writing out their own name, they use a kanji for this syllable or this 2 syllables to symbolize this phrase to mean something else as well. Then when they're all combined together, first, last, or just first name or just last name, surname, it combines to one symbolic sentence or phrase. I didn't think saying that could ever feel so nauseating. Yes, it's as you imagine, Maebara-kun. Right now, the Wanta Nagashi Festival might just be a somewhat early summer festival occurring every June. But it used to be different. What were the practices before? My edgy side of myself really wants to know I'm enjoying this. It used to be a ghastly, cannibalistic feast, held on the night the villagers had collected their unfortunate dinner. That can't be true. I mean, it explains some of the torture devices here. Very much more so, actually. They just don't get much use. At least in public anyway, because of human laws. I had no reason to say that. I couldn't help it. Maebara-kun, you said that Wantaganashi is a ritual about purifying futons, right? Well, their friends, Keiichi's friends, said that was what the whole thing was about. It makes even more sense, oh boy, Rika did not want to, if Rika knows all about rituals in the past, it makes it even funnier. The mysterious side even becomes more mysterious. Man, she and Sadako are great. What do you think of futons Filikan with Wanta represent? Oh, I see, people sleep on entrails for every single day. Futons are futons! They're beds. They're things we're sleeping in. What else could they possibly represent? I was rattling on, desperately tempted to deny the horrible festival that Takano-san was describing. Deep down, however, I found myself understanding all too well what she meant. Futons stuffed with cotton. The cotton represented entrails in both pronunciation and meaning, then entrail-filled futons would have to be humans. Man, we're sleeping on just living, breathing humans. Why don't you think back to the offertory dance Rika-chan performed? That's gonna be hard because literally, we were pulled away by Shion, which honestly was a great thing, a great span of time to do it. So I'm really glad you brought us here, Shion. But yeah, still, we don't know Keiichi doesn't know what the dance is. Do you know what she was doing up there? Wasn't it she was using a hammer? She was using a hammer to hit the futon, if I'm remembering right. No, I don't. I didn't even watch the whole thing anyway. Hi. Shh. Kei-chan, you're getting too worked up. Shion grabbed one of my ears, reminding me that this wasn't somewhere I should raise my voice. Even so, I still can't suppress this agitation I feel. Rika-chan was carrying a festival hoe. You probably realized it already, but it's not a hoe for plowing fields. It's a tool for dissecting human bodies. This is funny. This is great. Also, we see his face again. I didn't see the dance all the way through, so I don't know what kind of performance Rika-chan was putting on after I left. Yeah, they're making it like this seems like a very what if or a slightly different like choice kind of chapter. Like even though like I wonder if like how this game would be structured then if it was like choice based instead of like you choose this one, you like meet Shion and all that, or you just choose this one and go down the chapter one normal route. And if like the whole first four chapters are literally just I'm just thinking how you would just reformat that in terms of other visual novels I read through like a 999 and all that. There's some routes or just pathways which are blocked off until you just see like the first four ones or anything like that. Hmm. I didn't see the dance all the way through. I don't know what kind of performance Rika-chan was putting on after I left. When I told Sakano-san, she kind of explained Rika-chan's dance to me. To summarize what she said, after what I'd seen, Rika-chan would pierce the futons with that hoe, cut them open, and pull out the con inside. How many futons did she does this to? To like, is it related to like futons they had on hand, or is it related to some people bring their own futons? Hmm. She cut the con out, one bit at a time, and set it afloat. That's the kind of ritual it was. Broadly speaking, it was quite the bombastic ceremony. They'd rip out the guts and throw them into a basin. Then the ritual was over. Hmm. It's thought that afterwards, the villagers, each with a different role, dismantled the flesh piece by piece and feasted upon it. At Takano's strangely happy giggle, I felt, for some reason, violent displeasure. For some reason, Keiichi is pretty much known by this point that you're a completely normal person, so it's not that strange, okay? Rika-chan, every day during her lunch break, she'd take a rice-pounding mallet into the schoolyard, and she worked so hard, sweating bullets, to practice for the offertory dance she had done today. That's just funny. Like, literally just... Rika's the most, like, I guess, like, well, quote-unquote innocent person, like, knows all about the ritual, just like, I gotta make sure I do this extra hard, practice, to be perfection. That's just funny to me. All that effort, all that work. Takano-san disgraced it. If that was the past of it, and Rika literally actually grew up in the shrine, like all the shrine duties and all that. Even if like her parents or like the priest never said anything like that, it's I think she still would have known because even then they mentioned that they still go into this storehouse, this warehouse, just to get some stuff. I think either way, she either like caught wind onto a hint or something like that, or literally, yeah, completely knows all about it. Either way, she technically kind of knows. Even though she worked so hard to practice for today, Takano-san, I think you should choose your words more carefully. Kei-chan's pretty naive, so please don't tease him too much. Okay, honestly, I'm glad you're not just saying don't talk about it anymore, just anything like that. Just like choose your words more carefully. I actually like that so much more. Respect. A moment before I opened my mouth to express how angry I was, Shion stopped me. Shion must have been fully aware of how the story made me feel. I'm sorry. I thought you'd like a story with that sort of shock value since you're a boy. Oh, don't worry. If at that age, I definitely would be. Probably even more so now, though. Takano-san spoke with a hint of malice. She smiled gracefully. After hearing all that, did you figure out what kind of stuff is in this storehouse, Kei-chan? I see. Torture devices again. See, look. Shion pointed out one of the walls vaguely illuminated by the lantern's light. There was... Mere moments ago, they hadn't held my interest. They were just boring-looking tools lined up in the shelves. Ugh. All those uninteresting tools I didn't understand how to use. They all suddenly took on a new meaning, and I couldn't help but let out a groan. At first, it looked like carpentry tools, like chisels or planes. Chisels or planes? What do you mean planes? However, when I thought back, I'd seen pictures of these sorts of tools before. Yeah, they came up in Japanese history textbook. Yes, on the page introducing the Kaitai Shinsho, the new text in anatomy. These sorts of things, they're printed realistically in the literature of Germany, capital of the medical world. Oh, is that what Germany's actually known for? Oh, cool. I learned something new today. These aren't carpentry tools. These strangely shaped tools. there for a dissection. Everyone knows that in the Endo period, they would dissect the corpses of those who had been put to death in order to gain knowledge about Western medical techniques. Yeah, it makes sense. You have to at some point. I get to learn more about autopsies and how the human body works. Illustrations of dissection tools are used at the same time came up in textbook supplements. The things hung up on this wall all looked exactly the same as those. If you want a scarier way of looking at it, think of them as cooking utensils. Takano-san, holding the lantern, the only light source in the room, led us along the wall. She had the only light, so I had to walk after her whether I liked it or not, or just stay in complete darkness, having the torture devices. Just sit and just stare at you from the walls. Yeah. Look, Takano-san illuminated a coiled chain which left a bigger impression than the other things we saw. The chain in itself was nothing unusual, but further along were metal fetters that were like hinges, clearly meant for binding people. Kei-chan, look at that. She untapped me on the shoulder and pointed to a restraining table that was clearly shaped like a person. My spine froze. My blood felt like it was turning into sherbet, and as it crawled up my back. On each of the joints, there were things like chains and iron balls attached. It was like the table was searching for its next sacrifice, ready to spread their arms wide and close them in. It's probably a chopping block. Is it like that table in the back right there with the head-shaped hole on the very bottom of it, at the foot of it? Okay. So there's a neck brace at the very top of it, and a head thing at the very bottom. Okay. I think you tried to sacrifice down to prep them for eating. The words chopping block sent a jolt through my body. When I looked more closely, there were many dark slices carved into it, as though from a knife or a saw. Or an axe. They were the most clear-cut signs of usage you could look for. I'm assuming if there was only that, they completely elegantly washed it down after each use. There's nothing else. It proved these tools weren't just for show. They were used for the original purpose. If someone was strapped tightly onto this table, they probably wouldn't be able to move even a muscle. Their guts would be defenseless. You take one of those eerie cooking knives lined up over there, stab them with it, and then you slice open their belly and dissect them? I heard stories, but this is incredible. Before coming in here, she hadn't mentioned she had a good guess of what was inside, but it seems to have exceeded her imagination. I'm glad to see them. You're having a great old time this field trip. There's still more. How about it? More fascinating than a wax museum, isn't it? Oh, I'll say. Nakano-san had this happy expression like she was visiting a toy store for the first time. Man, you are a woman of morbid taste. Love it. I don't get it. This Mio Takano person has nerves of steel. Are these bizarre, grotesque objects that fascinating to her? Well, I mean, they are to me, but I feel like I might be a bit unnerved when going through the first time, but it's gravely fascinating to me. I, for one, was not enjoying myself. Man, you're gonna get nightmares of this? You're not man enough, Keiichi. I'll be frank. Wait, who's Frank? I thought your name was Keiichi. This is all too weird for me. Still, there's something even more horrifying than all this. That would be none other than Takano-san herself. Takano-san, holding the lantern giving up such a thin beam of light, if she suddenly turned it off, then what would I do when, the next moment, everything went totally dark? That's why I was scared. Takano-san had the only light, and anyway, I was scared. No, I literally don't sense anything bad from her. She just loves these stories. At some point, Shanna started holding onto my shirt sleeve. Oh yeah. It was a little annoying to walk like that, but I didn't shake her off. That minor sensation allowed me to feel the presence of an ally, here and now. Before we had even walked halfway through the storehouse, the air I felt to my skin changed completely. These cruel tools lined up, all crammed together in this place. Some were horrible ones made to take away sacrifices' freedom, and some were tools made to efficiently disassemble and prepare the bodies for consumption. Those were just the things I understood. There were plenty of other strange-looking objects that I couldn't even guess the purpose of. Now that I was here, I didn't have the slightest desire to hear the details about what sort of terrifying reasons they were meant to be used for. At the very least, they were all completely different from the sort of clean, simple killing function of a katana. Tools to kill people were, obviously, constructed in such a way that they could kill people. If that was the goal, then the person you used on them would, obviously, end up dead. The kinds of tools here, however, were different. The tools that were here were for cutting people, for crushing them with a press, for boiling them and cooking them, and for grinding them. They were tools of torture. They weren't made to kill people. People dying was just an incidental result. Actually, they might not even kill them. Oh, eating them alive. Oh, nice. The sacrifices could die during such a horrifying ritual process. That would be nice, but they don't even die in the end. They remain in a state of hellish pain. Perhaps they are only being allowed to live. Only now, in this moment, did I fully realize just how terrifying and fearsome that difference was. People, you see. Most of these wouldn't kill them, if used properly. Takano-san, as I read my mind, displayed a shocking smile. Burning at the stake, the famous method of execution for witches, will kill a person immediately. Oh yeah, I also heard, well, there's also the whole thing of the golden ox thing, and I think Greek legend, I guess, of an inventor making it for a torture device, then the king just having the person, be the first person tested out. Yeah, like a whistle, and just being boiled alive. When the body suffers extreme burns on the skin all over, the decomposition of the skin's chemical makeup produces poison-like symptoms and causes an immense shock to the victim. Huh, never knew that. I suppose it's still very cruel. Compared to the guillotine, you have to wait far longer for it to happen. She describes such horrors in a strangely medical way. Yeah, she's a nurse. I mean, if also that's another thing, she's used to morbid stuff because, she had to learn about it for school. Shion immediately answers the question I had. Takano-san is a nurse. Yeah, well, oh yeah, Katie doesn't know that yet. Huh. Does saying that nothing can scare a doctor, I guess it's true. You get to see some things in the practice, I imagine. Plus some, well, I don't know how it is for neurosurgeons, but you get to see the inner workings of the brain, so and all that, so, yeah. Oh, and also, there was a method of execution in ancient Rome where they would grill the person. Wait, are we talking about... Just like a barbecue. They would cover the person in wire netting until they cooked them over charcoal fire. Okay, no, it's literally just barbecue stuff instead of the golden ox thing. To think the memories of when I went to a day camp with my family would come rushing back now of all time so vividly. I mean, you gotta get those wars in somehow. That's what it was like. Apparently they wouldn't die too easily for some reason. According to one source, even if they roasted one sort of person to a crisp for an entire night, they would still be conscious and able to speak fluently. No, that's insane. You grill someone the whole day and they still be conscious. Well, then you have to flip them over to the other side, get the perfect, ratio burnt. It's said that ancient Rome, famous for executions, thought of plenty of ways to execute someone while having the victim stay alive as long as possible. Among them, there was one method where they would open the gut, pull out the intestines like sausages, pull them up with a winch, and put them on public display. Huh. She was behind me, clinging to me. Not just because she was scared. She was protecting her stomach. You would think someone with their intestines pulled out would die instantly, right? Actually, as long as you do it tenderly and thoroughly, not roughly just cranking the winch so duper hard they're still alive, okay. It's apparently possible to pull them all out while the person is still conscious. I felt a sick feeling in my stomach. Man, the stomach is saying, I want to stay inside here, thank you very much. I don't want to see the outside world. It's like my organs were coiling up, just from Takano-san's stare. Though pulling them out with a winch was a rather exaggerated method. The more barbaric way was slice open the gut, then cut the intestines out and throw them everywhere. It's quite imaginable they did dreadful things like that too, isn't it? How are those being put to death or conscious? It must be far more terrifying than painful. She spoke with pleasure, as if she'd come here on a sightseeing trip. Well, she technically is. I heard Shion gulping multiple times near my ears. Okay, as cue slurp. Ah, just slurping in blood. Perhaps Hinamizawa, or their Onikafuchi village, did something like that for the Watanashi festival. Listen. If we try hard, can't you hear it? I wanted nothing more than not hear anything at all. So why? Why only at times like these do I begin to hear things I shouldn't be able to? Oh, that's because people have a power of your body. I can do so right now. Like everyone watching and listening to this right now, I will control your bodies now. You are manually breathing now. Oh, is the dance still going? The ritual, I guess, yeah. Takano-san, having realized she'd scared Shion and I enough at this point, smiled soothingly. Then she turned on her heel, raised a lantern, and began to walk again. We gotta see more of these cool equipment and weaponry. If Takano-san let us here, we'd get even further away from the light. Shion and I, no matter how scared we were forced to follow Takano-san along on our field trip through the ritual storehouse. How big is this warehouse? I suppose we've seen a bit of everything. See? This place is interesting, isn't it? She says, raising the lantern high in the center of the storehouse. The dim lighting didn't change, but for some reason, I felt like I was able to see all those horrible tools at once. Kei-chan? Look up. Oh boy, what's on the ceiling? Shion stammered while grabbing the nape of my neck. I couldn't tell because it was so dark, but there were a lot more tools hanging from the ceiling as well. They all looked like they were made of iron bars, but then I figured it out. Cages. Oh, I noticed that a while ago. It's not that bad, but yeah. For cages, they were very small. Or the bars, like, small enough, like, I guess, like, wide enough from, like, limbs let out, or the people, like, were stuffed in there, crammed, like, either knees to their chest and all that, like, they curled up into a ball. Or, like, they're smaller than that, and, they literally were pressed against it, and, uncomfortable for the rest of their remaining life. Cramped cages just for one, like a casket. If you got locked up in there... No. You wouldn't get locked up inside it. It was another tool meant for restraining people. With the iron bars that squeeze you tightly. All the... So many big and large things of all shapes were hanging down. Takano-san's mention of execution by grilling crosses my mind. We weren't just surrounded by on all sides by these terrifying instruments. Things crowding the ceiling were even hanging over our heads. There are many of these sorts of bird cages among European torture devices. I'm surprised to see them in Japan as well. Well, Japan. Well, that's another detail just thinking about it now. It's like, Japan, it was originally called Nihon. Huh. I wonder how it's suddenly changed to referring it as Japan. At least in, I guess, other countries' pronunciation and all that. How do other countries, like, say their country's name actually thinking about it? Huh. I'm intrigued. Kei-chan, is there something in there? A person? A mummy? A mummy? Well, I was thinking of Egyptians this whole time because they did something similar. If like I'm like getting a tool through the nose to get someone's brain out to scoop it all into jars and all that, their intros and all that, and I'm a bunch of stuff to wrap everything in gauze, and everything like that. Where? Shin desperately pointed to one of the many human-sized bird cages hanging from the ceiling. I couldn't tell which one she meant. Oh, okay, there's way more. Yay. Being that dark, there wasn't any way you could tell if something was there in the first place. Man, all this stuff would be perfect for villains like headquarters, deep and underground, nearby a volcano. I don't see anything. You sure you're not seeing things? The ghosts. Shion didn't seem convinced, but without a means confirmed for ourselves, we couldn't do much, but I wonder. So can I borrow your lantern and put on a little stick and just raise it up? How? If I asked that, then like, oh my gosh, the ceiling must be that high up, and the building must be this big. Oh wow. Maebara-kun, after seeing this, have you come to believe in all of it? The countless terrible rituals passed down in Hinamizawa? It's got nothing to do with believing in them. Now that they've been shown the real thing like this, there's no possible way to deny it. Even the nations of Europe, with all their beautiful landscapes and legends, were like a maelstrom during the terrible witch hunts in the Dark Ages. It extended to the United States as well, Salem witch trials and all that. It's well known that the era gave birth to countless gruesome forms of torture and execution. Japan was the same way. Didn't it have its own era of hellscape like torturous feast because of religious suppression and things of that nature? Religious suppression? Hinamizawa itself had such a period. It had that much history behind it. Even in Europe, land of the witch hunts, that was all far in the past, no more than a series of historical events, and in this age, nothing that abnormal would ever happen. That must apply to Hinamizawa as well. Just as Europe had its Dark Age, Hinamizawa had one too. That's how this should be taken. Even if these things are all really happening in Hinamizawa, they're all long past. They don't have anything to do with the people living in Hinamizawa right now. Are you sure about that? Maebara-kun, you really do like this village. It didn't sound like she was making fun of me. Takano-san gave me a light smile. She just casually moves her lantern over to another torture device. What's that? Fresh blood. It's still wet. Takano-san, you're researching wherever these customs survive into the present. You are, right? Shion suggested something that made my heart leap into my throat. Are you telling me that all these horrible things are still going on even today? Well, if people have gone missing, and they haven't sunk into the swamp, even though it keeps getting implied, then the next best thing would be here. It'd be way too of a coincidence if people just like suddenly like whenever they get like demoned away, like they're still alive but lost in somewhere like wandering Japan, like no memory, like they have no identification, all that. They're just wandering around. It'd just be too weird and coincidental then. What I'm about to tell you is a secret, alright? I told you, Shion-shun, because you're an understanding person, but the other villagers don't want to hear it. If things go awry, I could be ganged up on and punished. Don't worry, that's not gonna happen. Shion flashed a devilish smile, as if reveling in the morality of it. Oh, is this really the taboo of it? No one wants to have it, no one wants the whole, like, things of the past be brought to the present, even when it's still being done today. They don't want other people to know of it. So if anyone wants to reveal that truth, kill them. Demon them away. Maebara-kun, you keep it a secret too, okay? If it gets out, I could suffer Oyashiro-sama's curse, or be made into a sacrifice. If it's the curse, then I wonder what kind of death there'll be this year. If it's the sacrifice, then will I be thrown to Onigofuchi Swamp while still alive? It is tonight, you know. The night of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Takano-san said, bringing her face up close to ours. As to say that she had a choice, she'd rather suffer the curse. Oh, so you want to be the one dead. Good luck with that. That was what she seemed to be implying. Takano-san took a fairly worn notebook out of her paper bag, then began to flip through its pages. There are all sorts of references and newspaper clippings attached to them, and it had all manner of things written inside. The letters were very small and bunched together, so I couldn't tell at a glance what it was about. I wonder if there's actually something going on with Tomotaki. If it's really just there's something they actually have a geared interest toward each other besides the whole avian photography thing, and besides the whole, I guess, like implied maybe romantic attraction. I wonder if there's anything else interest-wise, like in hobbies and like that. Even though Tomotaki definitely was very against more of well, I guess being a good person if you're like not breaking and entering in here, so a tiny bit anyway. What I'd really like to do is search through the National Library for newspapers from the area, but Oh, here it is. A photocopy of a page from some book was slid into the notebook, and it too was written in small, tight lettering. Like the other pages, I couldn't tell what it was about just by glancing at it. This is a story that actually happened. It was around the end of the Meiji era. They discovered an unknown, mangled corpse, the victim of a murder in Onigafuchi village. An old newspaper clipping attached to the page spoke of something that was no mere rumor or fairy tale. We don't have most police documents in the time anymore. It's all based on oral traditions and memories. See? It's not very clear, but it looks like a cutout of a newspaper from Meiji era. Never before has there been a corpse treated with such cruelty and inhumanity. Could it be the work of a demon? Being a copy of a copy, it was very hard to make out, but it was more than enough to make me feel strangely tense. Was this like the thing happened a few years ago, or like way back in the day? Just in the sound if it was a photocopy of a photocopy, then definitely way back in the day. Near the end of the Meiji era, in old Onikafuchi village, a mangled corpse was discovered. Oh, is it like going to be paralleling just the construction dam murder? The identity of the corpse was unknown. It wasn't even a state where it could be identified in the first place. It was missing a head, and each limb was separated from the body. Oh, I see, I guessed right. Skin had been peeled off the entire body, and there were markings that implied terrible torture in every place imaginable. Not only that, the belly had been cut open by a sharp knife, with the entrails completely dragged out. The police immediately began an investigation, but since they couldn't even determine the identity of the victim, much less the criminal, finding answers was extremely difficult. Do you understand what it must have been like? I couldn't imagine such a strange sight, even if I tried. I wouldn't say that's a strange sight, Keiichi. This was the first time I was ever thanked for my lack of imagination. Oh, that was it, okay. The victim was skinned while still alive, underwent all kinds of torture, and was killed brutally. The author here also thinks that even after death, the remains were divided and dissected even further, the epitome of inhumanity. I'm of the opinion the entire process was performed while the person was still alive, though. What do you think, Maebara-kun? She spoke in a way intended to make me imagine even more vicious things. As my brain was already far over capacity, however, there was no way I could imagine anything more brutal. Then when I broke my gaze from Takana-san's, those strangely shaped weird tools were all around us. I wondered if you could faithfully reproduce the mutilated corpse discovered at the end of the Meiji era, the tools found in this place. I want to deny it. I don't want to admit that something so terrible could have happened at all. Even so, they were so strange, so terrifying. These tools. And as if they had seen through my attempt to escape from them, and nothing but ridicule me silently. So, that creepy incident, what was in the end? The author says that, regarding Onigafuchi village, with its dreadful customs, they survived into recent post-Meiji days. That perhaps they lasted until around the beginning of the Showa period. This corpse, at a glance, appeared to have been brutally killed after a period of torture. In actuality, however, it was the pitiful sacrificial remains of the man-eater's terrifying feast. The corpse was just leftovers. It was so fantastic, so strange, it didn't feel real. Was this an extension of the legends too? It happened in the Meiji era, though, which is just too recent to be called a legend. Also, there's a newspaper clipping right here suggesting it. Okay, but even if it really happened, it was a long time ago, right? I mean, the Meiji era ended 100 years ago. That's all. Only 100 years ago. Only 100 years ago. Besides, it kept happening even after the beginning of the Showa period. Like with the uproar around the post-war canned flesh incident. Oh, I apologize. I want to hear that now. That story was taboo, wasn't it? Takano-san immediately stopped talking as if worried about Shion. Shion briefly looked somewhat angry. The expression soon disappeared. Huh? Takano-san, what did you just say? Canned flesh? Just then there was a huge creaking noise. Okay, Tomotaki's here to say, hey, it's time to get out of here, gang. We gotta split up and look for clues. Everyone went around to look. It was Tomotaki-san, who opened the door slightly. Did I startle you? Oh, Jiro-san, can you resist not seeing inside? Can you not resist seeing inside? This is a splendid treasure trove of torture devices. I'll pass on that. Okay. I'm bad at this sort of thing by nature. Takano-san held her stomach and had to muffle her laughter, as she wanted to make a comment about his masculinity. In any case, the dance and ceremony are over, and everyone's going down to the stream. The fest will be over within minutes. Oh, that's no good. Maebara is just such a good listener that I couldn't help telling stories. I'd really rather you not mention me in a place like this. Jiro-san, could you wait up front? I want to take a few pictures. There are actually a lot of tools I'd like to bring home, but we obviously can't do that. Takano-san took a camera of her paper bag and began to snap photographs. Is it expensive as Tomotaki's camera right there, or literally just a disposable one? She looked like she was having fun, like she was on a scavenger hunt. Michiko, are you leaving too? I've seen enough. Shion, you're good too, right? Let's get out of here. I want some fresh air. I agree. You're taking this well. Let's leave. I did feel a bit of hesitation at leaving Takano-san by herself in this darkness. When I thought about it, though, I realized that whatever kinds of evil spirits and ghosts lurked in the darkness, none of them could hold a candle to how scary she was. You know, if a phantasm were to appear, she'd be overjoyed and flash her camera at it. Oh yes, I would too. Well, if I was prepared for it anyway. It seemed like Shion shared my somewhat rude mental images. We exchanged glances and smiled painfully. Left Takano-san there, bathed in her strobe of camera flashes, decided to go leave the ritual storehouse. Okay. Everyone in the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of the bugs in their hand were clear, lending an empty feeling of isolation to the place. Man, if you die in this village, you just turn to a Higurashi then. Man. Reincarnation. How was it? Interesting? Tomotachi-san gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. You should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our faces were. He's having a fun time. I should have kept watch outside with you, Tomotachi-san. He laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings. See, the festival's already working its magic on you. How'd you fare, Shion-chan? Were you scared? I was prepared for it, so I wasn't too afraid, but since the real thing was powerful, it's probably a different thing entirely if we get a whole scene of a character to actually experience it firsthand, but just hearing about it just fine enough. It's really just pure history. Shion spoke like she wasn't scared at all. She really had been quite afraid, but seeing as how I was in a way worse state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. As Tomotachi-san grinned candidly, my mind, exhausted and locked up by nervousness, began to calm itself. Was Takano-san a dull about this little expedition? You know, she seems like a child sometimes. We have to let out our little inner child out sometimes. I was worried she would get way too excited. I don't know if that was revealing all her whole passions, or literally just half of it, or just 1% of her true passion power. But either way, it was intriguing. It was interesting. I'll give it that. Both she and I laughed, and left that as her answer. Hopefully she's really looking at things. I'm worried she'll sneak something out of there, mess with the ritual implement too much, and break it or something. Right, that's quite possible. You should probably both keep an eye out from outside and on her then. Have fun. She is alone in there right now, just oh, look, it's a very small little chisel screwdriver. I don't think anyone's gonna mind if I just pocket. She might pilfer something small and easily concealed, hiding in your pocket. Immediately my first thought. Yeah, I can see that. Shion said what I was thinking. You're sure she didn't break anything? I could clearly hear some noises like someone jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous. Hello. I'm sorry. I ran out of film. Jiro-san, if you have any more, could I use some? Takano-san suddenly appeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. This is why you always be prepared. Get film, even when you don't really need, 10 whole rolls. Just be prepared. Tomitaki-san smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing had happened. He's pretty mature. I'm all spare film. Sorry about that. Jeez. You won't win any Pulitzer Prize by not selecting a film for any occasion, you know. So that's it then. Tomitaki-san scratched his head apologetically. Man. Without film, we're done here then. Takano-san seemed to have given up because of that too. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything inside, then closed the door and turned to the heavy padlock we left beside it. Takano-san, you didn't sneak anything out, right? How rude. I'm trying not to be that childish. Smile. No. Kerclink. Tomitaki set the padlock back to the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves had snuck in at all. You'd be very close attention to the padlock itself? Why'd they change the padlock to something more weaker then? Remember that line. Okay, let's get over to the stream ourselves. If you don't at least set some con afloat, there won't be any point coming to the festival. Tomitaki-san spoke brightly, urging us all on. Setting con afloat down the stream. I shook my head a few times, driving away my dismal thoughts as to the double meaning. Takano-san, looking a little down, kept turning back to glance at the ritual storehouse. Let's just leave it at that, alright? You saw enough to set your curiosity, didn't you? And if not, you can come back next year. Hopefully. Oh, not at all. Everything I found only renewed my interests. All those stories and legends suddenly hold water. Today I'm gonna have to change the way I look at all this. Wow, she's truly indomitable. Her curiosity really is something else. Still interested in all this, through and through. Oh, new background. Oh, interesting, intriguing. But I'm just thinking of this now. If if this story is gonna go down the whole thing of when a character dies, like Keiichi dies, something like that, or it's a never-ending loop where something different happens. Like Keiichi goes down, talks to different people, and experiences things differently. This is literally just seeing, just going to different events of what technically would happen, like a butterfly effect sort of thing. It'd be kind of messed up and kind of unfair the reason why Keiichi, no matter what, in each individual timeline, gets a bad hand or something like that. Because in just one singular loop, or I guess another easier way to put it for now would just be a timeline of events that he was cursed for it, and then was obviously now forever gonna be cursed like that no matter what. Just because he did something wrong in one timeline or something like that. Man. If that is gonna be what was gonna go down, then man, I would be pretty petty right now. We descended the stone stairs, and all the people crowding the stream came to view. Near the bottom of the stairs, we could clearly see people receiving cotton that had been cut up for them, then wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over. Damn. I missed my chance to photograph the best part of once in the Higurashi. Oh, but it's not too late. I'm gonna go and set some afloat. Perhaps you could take pictures of me? Nakana-san, with an impish expression, put her head to Tomitaki-san's shoulder. Nope, okay. That's adorable. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Tomitaki-san, man to man, for dating such a handful of women. I wouldn't say it's that bad. Goodbye, then. Maebara-kun. Shion-chan. We're going down to the stream. Would you like to come with us? No. I couldn't get in your way. Please take your time. You have something else in your mind. I'm intrigued. Shion waved her hand to them with an expression just as impish as Takano-san's. Tomitaki-san, on his part, seemed to want us to come, but whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down the stone steps. He was enjoying our company, okay? Oh, I'm pretty worn out. Same here, actually. I'm exhausted, too. Kei-chan, this is your first Wanted Nagashi, isn't it? You go on, don't mind me. I'm tired, so I'll just stay away from the crowd. Are you not gonna set some con afloat? Yeah, if we were to go now, we'd barely step into the end of the con drifting ceremony. My sister and your other friends might be looking for you too. Go on. Oh, yeah, right. They've been by themselves ever since we got separated. I feel bad they're looking for me, and when you meet them again, they ask you where you were. Lie your ass off, okay? Then she instantly got a playful look in her face, then put her index finger to her lips as if telling me to keep this a secret. Yes. Maya's just the type that gets really jealous. Oh yes, I already got the vibe several times. If she knew I was hawking you this whole time, she didn't let me hear the end of it, so keep tonight a secret, okay? Keep tonight a secret. Don't say things that are so embarrassing. Don't reveal the bad things you've done, Keiichi. You have unity with with this group of people. If you let that go and spread out to the truth to everyone else, then your little unity party will be gone. Your unity will be clashing against a bigger unity. Not only because of that either. Considering what we were doing tonight, we really need to keep it a secret. Oh yeah, sure, someone's curse might happen tonight, and we four will be the prime candidates. The loosening threads of tension became taut again. Shion, however, burst out laughing. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here before I run into my sister. I really am tired, so I don't have the endurance to put up with her anyway. I can't tell if you get along with her or not. We get along, for the most part. Though she said that, her vague expression explained that there are a lot of oddities in a relationship between twins. I'm an only child, so I don't really get it. It's probably the whole thing of like you're so close, but at the same time you just like just nonchalantly insult the other, just like hey, you goddamn idiot, get in the car, we're gonna get food now. Or just like some sibling language, just like the most aggressive insults ever, and just secret code for oh, do you want some money? Or can I borrow some? Or like, no, you dickwad. Like, oh, yeah, okay, just, it's in the jar. Make sure you get along with her, okay? Right, thank you kindly for your meddling. Okay, I'm gonna go. You should hurry up if you want to make it, Kei-chan. The wanted Ganashi really is about to end. Shin stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. As they're watching her do so, I turned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watanagashi festival below me. Every time I feel like I say the Watanagashi festival, I feel like my brain is just gonna explode a bit. Just I'm saying it faster and faster each time now, I feel. Seriously though, what was that sound anyway? It was kind of unpleasant and creepy. Oh, you definitely heard a sound when we were in the warehouse then. Oh, I got you immediately. Huh? What sound? The sound. The sound. You know, the banging noise. It was really loud, wasn't it? Banging. I was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. I stared hard at her too. Sorry, Shion. Could you give me the short version? What was making noise? Wait, Kei-chan. It didn't bother you? When all is said and done, it was like we were speaking two different languages. Shion, explain it to me, without jokes, in the beginning, will you? What's this about a noise? Kei-chan, you quit joking around too. Really, honestly, it didn't bother you? Neither of us was giving any ground, and both of us were staring at the other in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions, with no sign of an actual conversation in sight. Look, Keiichi, Lily, just say you don't understand what she's talking about. Baffled, I held in the urge to shout at her, and asked politely one more time. I'm gonna ask one more time, okay? I'll ask the questions. She nodded silently. Okay, here goes. You said there was a sound. What are you talking about? The banging sound. It was like a kid was jumping up and down on floorboards somewhere far away. Oh, was that oh, that was the same thing Tomotaki brought up too at the end. Oh. Oh, and like there was nothing mentioned about any of them like jumping up and down either. Hmm. Ah, blood. Slurping blood. It really didn't bother you? There's nothing to be bothered by. When did you hear this? I never heard anything. Wait, Kei-chan, are you serious? Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me further with a press, her expression serious. I have no idea what she's talking about, but if it has Shion acting like this, whatever it gave me the creeps. It sent a chill to my spine. It was while we were looking around the inside of the ritual storehouse with Takano-san. About the time she started her stories, I think it was. Little by little, louder and louder, off and on. She heard a banging sound, like a child jumping on distant floorboards? No, that can't be true. Don't start trying to scare me after all that. I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was so utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening. Please don't try to scare me either, Kei-chan. It was like something was making noise in time with Takano-san's scary stories, and I was totally creeped out the whole time. The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze over. You and Takano-san weren't paying any attention to it all, so I pretended not to hear it either, but you heard it, right? It happened a bunch of times, and it was really loud. Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. I had no doubt, however, that my own eyes just said something entirely different. You've gotta be kidding look. In the storehouse, we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools that looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. The whole time, Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear, by herself. Tomitake brought it up. Should that make Shion, who heard it, tremble? Or should it make me, who didn't hear it, tremble? I didn't know the answer to that at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made the decision before I did. Oh. What are you laughing about? Oh, hi. I really got you, Kei-chan. Oh, don't you dare try to, lie now. Don't you dare lie now. I was fibbing the whole time. What? Shion laughed, saying how easily scared I was, and clapped me in the back. Her smile somehow seemed artificial. Actually made me feel worse. And to leave me with 2 or 3 generic, diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left, almost like she was running away. No, she definitely, she didn't know how to, continue the topic then. I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. All I could do was look after her, my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue what was going on. She had laughed it off and said she had been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. And now that I think back, Tomitake-san said the same thing, didn't he? I could clearly hear some noises like when someone was jumping up and down. I was getting pretty nervous. Tomitake-san, the most neutral party present at the time, had said he'd heard something. The noise. It was real? The banging sounds. Sounded as though a child was jumping up and down on some kind of floorboards far away. Oya Shirasa's curse, which happens every year, might happen again tonight. The most plausible victim candidates were Takano-san, Tomitake-san, Shion, and me. The bustling of the people sounded further away than I would have liked, and the sounds of the insects sounded too close for comfort. I'm near so much human warmth, and yet I can't ever go back there again. That was the ominous idea that sprouted in my mind. Well, even when you believed all was... even if you believed in the village's side all the time in the first chapter, you still had so many bad things happen to you, even then. Even when you believed in the the heart of the village, all your might, you still had bad things happen to you. Which is, yeah. If it really is part of the curse, like an actual supernatural curse, then I'm gonna call fucking fate destiny bullshit. Hello. Keiichi, we found you. We found you. We were hunting you. It was Rika-chan. When I turned around, Mion and Reina were there too. We finally found you. Now we just need to find Sadako. Wait, where did she go? Everyone got split up this year. We should make sure we have somewhere to meet up afterwards next year. Aww. You're right. It's a festival, so we should all be together. I listened to Mion's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt. Keiichi, did you root for me while I was dancing? Oh, yeah. I couldn't scream though because I'm being respectful and all that. But I was there. I saw it all. You did a great job all the way through. No mistakes either. Yeah, that's right, Rika-chan. That didn't count as a mistake. I tentatively realized I made a mistake on my own. Oh. Mian slides a hand on my shoulder a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out on my whole body. Did you do it too, Kei-chan? Did you get some condensate down the stream? You haven't yet, right? Calm. Calm yourself. Calm. Back up. Back up away. Back. Go back, demon. You're the bad demon. Go away. Shion's a good demon here. You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell any more lies, I lightly shook my head. Huh? You haven't, Keiichi-kun? You should go now or be over. It'll be over. Sorry. This is my first Wantaganashi, so I don't really understand the rules and stuff. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Okay, lying with the truth. Okay, good. You're doing good, Keiichi. Mian took my hand and we started walking down the stone steps. Hey, Kei-chan. What? Did you see Shion? My heart skipped another beat. Maybe Mian could sense my surprise through my hand. No. Well, I started to think I saw her. You two look so alike, though, so it might have been you. You wouldn't have gotten that wrong. You're wearing different clothes. Huh? Oh, that's right. Mian's momentary silence was like a death grip upon me. Well, I mean, looking at hair. You can literally just lie and say I can only see past people's heads. I can barely have a good view of the ritual. You can literally just say that. I just can't do anything about that Shion. Well, it's her we're talking about, so we can just leave her be. Mia's expression returned to the former, usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand along. Yeah. Actually, that actually gave me tense a bit, actually, though. My god. Man. Scrapbook note 4 and 5 and after the festival. Okay. No, I want to get through those now. We did it before, and we're doing this after. Plumbing the depths. Achievement unlocked. Okay. I am intrigued. Scrapbook 1. Oh my gosh, you have different scrapbooks for every single small note. How inefficient. We have a green, a blue scrapbook, another. Okay, you at least your third one there. It still comes to the same book. We have those slightly different colors. They're slightly different colors. My God, you're wasting so many notebook papers and all that. Look, you just have a post-it note for the entirety of your scrapbook. God damn it. Wanta Nagashi. The rite of Wanta Nagashi is performed during a village festival every June, even now. But reading back to its origin turns up a seriously sanguine ceremony. Originally, Wanta Nagashi would happen at certain intervals. After receiving Oyashiro-sama's trust, they chose a sacrifice. Okay. Then the entire village would kidnap, demon away, the person, and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determine the intervals are shrouded in mystery. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune-telling, but it wasn't too convincing. I brought that up as a fucking joke, and now it's being brought up here. Why? Why does this game do this? No! The residents of ancient Onikafuchi village firmly believed that they were half-man, half-demon transcendents, and that they were more valuable than humans were, and they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up in the food chain. Like the whole thing of respect me, I have the power here. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of Wanta Nagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for, or outright diverting the attention of, the villagers of the isolated Onikafuchi village. In case any of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. Oh, Okay, see, we're still looping back around to him, listen to me or you get punished. That thing. But then it becomes a whole thing of if you're wrong, the only thing you have going to back you up is just either you think I'm right, or you're gonna get punished. That's literally just all it boils down to. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, it's easy to explain how erratic they were. That was okay. That was it. I forgot how short the scrapbook ones were. Yeah, scrapbook number 5. The alleged importance of the implements. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description on what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and there definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states the implements used in the Watanagashi rite alone numbered 200. Wow. The obvious question, then, is why they required such a myriad of them. The rite of Watanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools were for dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. So, some of them is for dissecting and restraining, but what would the other tools then be? Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you've reached the ultimate goal, that is, attain a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution normally stops there. Yeah, screwdrivers, axes, saws. Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for the diversification over time is that of entertainment. Oh. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and in searching for the next goal, they would split into many different subtypes. So then, perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 200 plus implements had some entertainment value. This is just a hypothesis, of course, but maybe the human dissection process was viewed as a type of entertainment. The 3 families of old would develop one new implement, dissection tool, after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them had to be enshrined within that storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremonial night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Watanagashi cannot come soon enough. I wonder if they'll die. Or they go missing next, or... Oh no, that'd be depressing. Shion, please don't die. Please don't go away. No, you're the best character. Man, it's always sometimes the most one-off characters that somehow get the worst treatment, and they're the best ones, usually. Oh, no. After the festival. Did the police find anything? Late that night, tensions in the police station were strained. In silence, many staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in that stifled atmosphere. Kumagaya-kun burst in with a young guy trailing behind him. Oishi-san, have you got the autopsy results? The court physician just got here. Okay, they did find something. Autopsy. I'm ready to go, sir. I'll head straight for the burned body's location. Burned? Okay, people are dead differently then. It's literally that. Okay, wow, actually. Oh, wow. Okay, this is so intriguing now. Kuma-chan, things have gone a bit complicated. They appear to be having a very difficult time determining who the victim is. Oh. Oh. Could they have been dismembered? Nope. Cooked to a nice light brown. I sees. He spoke in sportive tones, but the meaning behind his words was heavy. The staff gave a collective sigh. Just another day in the life. All the way? Head to toe? Completely blackened, it seems. Probably smells terrible, too. What a shame it is to be Gifu-san. Cooked with no possessions, no ID or anything. And if it wasn't mutilated, then I guess dental records would be the next best thing. Or fingerprints, if they have anything in the system for them. Then discarded it out to the prefecture. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. I'm curious if, like, the butterfly effect thing would come into play. Like, what technically was different from Keiichi's whole month here, or, like, what we've seen of this that changed things to happen for them to target someone else, or, like, change the murder method in some way? Oh boy, it'd be even worse if actually it was like Takano, and Tomatake is actually demoned away instead. Same people, but different methods. Oh boy. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. The fact that they snipped it out tonight was huge. Gomiya Yamakun and a few others are performing a thorough night raid on the dentist in Okinomiya. Oh, immediately got it. All we can do is hope a tooth matches some medical records. Sorry. Could someone go buy me 2 or so boxes of strong cigarettes? I didn't realize they're strong cigarettes. Where are the light ones? The young guy answered an affirmation and darted out into the hallway. You did an excellent job finding it this year. It could be that the people who disappeared in the past years are scattered outside the prefecture like this, too. Then why not bury them or sink them into the Sea of Japan, or Lake Biwa, or somewhere like that? Why, though? Hasn't the pattern so far been one person dies and then disappears? Kuma-chan, the corpse was inside an oil drum, unrestrained and cooked. They probably burned them into strangling them. Oh. Strangled first, then... Were they cooked inside the oil drum? Okay, so it was a makeshift golden ox situation then. Oh my. They knew it would be found. So what you mean is, from the beginning, they didn't want a person disappear this year? Not so much that as they just aren't related. The person did disappear. In fact, whoever did it seems to have wanted to make a show of it. You mean it could be a warning? He folded his arms, then heaved a long and heavy sigh. That might have been the case had it happened in town. If they messed up, taking the victim far away and burning them alive wouldn't have been noticed. They meant if it was a warning, they should have done it closer to Hinamizawa. They wanted to emphasize the fact that they killed the victim. Instead of doing it somewhere for dramatic effect, they did it out to the prefecture. Did they want to emphasize it or hide it? Boy, I do wonder what Oyashiro-sama's up to this year. Okay. The telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. A staff member nearby snatched up the receiver. Oishi-san, it's Komiyama. They have it. The dental clinic in Okinomiya fixed the wisdom tooth 3 years ago. What about the records? Complete with x-rays. Well, I feel bad for waking up the dentist before dawn. Kuma-chan, get out of there as soon as you get the records from Komiyama-kun. Man, I can't speak. Will do. Oh, it's the chief. Thank you for coming out at this hour. I just do so many different voices. Oishi-san, my apologies for my lateness. What's the situation? Well, it's just getting good, you see. We're all getting fired up. Not heated up, hopefully. Whoa! Music note. They're gonna keep that, who their identity is a secret. But, just in the sound of it then, does that mean that Oishi's not gonna be the one to bring up or, like, try to talk to Keiichi? Well, I guess, what was it? The other reason why Oishi brought up, like, talked to him like Keiichi was also both a warning as a, his friend group, and also the fact he kind of has a small connection with him. The only connection he had to Tomatake besides talking to him was, like, marking his signature onto his shirt, and so thought he was already connected up to the incident as well and wanted to warn him. But so far doesn't seem to be the case. And I wonder if it's something, if these 2 victims, or, like, if it's just one and they haven't found a missing person report anywhere. If it's just one dead person, then would it be someone different? Because if in chapter 1, both Takano and Tomatake-san literally both broke into the storehouse to look around and all that, and that was the reason why they were attacked and all that, was just because Keiichi and Shion were both, like, around and they would be witnesses and, like, they would break the tradition, or also be more witnesses to, like, find and attack. intriguing. Trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, I really hope it's not Shion, or please tell me it's really not Shion though, because if it is, I bet, and because of the whole thing with Neon, the whole thing, man, that's gonna go until they just like killing your sister, like they're gonna imply at some point because of the first chapter, and oh no, my heart's gonna get broken, and just, oh, that's gonna be so heartbreaking. That's gonna be so, no, that's sad. That'd be so sad and depressing. Oh boy. Well, I'll give these little clues over a once-over to see if I can get more process in my brain and all that. Because I definitely think I'm, since they're doing each chapter now of chapter 1 is learning more about the curse itself, and like, they go over a tiny bit, like, they were vague in the details of the actual murder themselves, like, each occurring year. They just scrubbed over them a bit. And then for this section with the tips here, they're going over actual, like, the past, actually, like, years, like, centuries ago. And implements and like the rituals, like the evolution of it all. How are they gonna do that for chapter 3, 4 then? And the answer arc is gonna be like, I guess, more expanding of those, like these questions piling up. Then, wonder what they're gonna focus on the next 2 chapters. But time will only tell, and we'll find out for next time. So, what a fun time watching as I am playing this. Hope we see me next time. What time that may be. And I'll hope you a fantastic day.